Don't take your eyes off the Fed is the title of this video. And it's the title of this video because for the last 2 days or so, it seemed like the market was taking its eyes off the Fed. We don't want to do that over here. We didn't do any sort of major shift away from that. And we believe the Fed is pretty fundamental. As the saying goes, don't fight the Fed, and more hawkish. So, the Fed was your friend. Now the Fed may be your enemy. So, that means it may be time to prepare for some additional downside. After the past couple of days, this morning, we were quite high. We were not too far away from all-time highs. And the previous all-time highs were quite expensive, in my opinion. So, we over here have been planning and positioning for an increasingly hawkish Fed. Some of our positions are getting hit pretty hard. Energy down big today. Mining materials companies down pretty big. Those companies we think still have good fundamentals and should do well even with a tightening Fed, a hawkish Fed. So we like those fundamentally based positions. We're sticking in them. But when the Fed is your enemy, there will be opportunities that do present themselves. The Fed is going to be crushing other people, and it might be time to enter into the rubble. So as the market dips, we'll be nibbling on the way down. Ultimately, we want to be prepared for the downside. We don't want to fight the Fed. We don't want to take our eyes off the Fed. We don't want to be looking at yesterday. We want to be looking at tomorrow. And tomorrow does feature a good future. So maybe if you see a stock that you like that's down big, start nibbling. We're doing that. We're not selling Jumia. We're not selling Editas. We are adding to those names on occasion. But in other instances, we are also adding additional downside protection. We did that yesterday when the market was up. Today, suffered a little bit of pain because of that. We've over here had a volatile week. It was not a great week thus far. It is what it is. 1 week, it is what it is. You just got to live with it. But ultimately, we will see what happens. And we are prepared for downside. Today was chop. We heard Powell talk about 50 basis points, pretty much imminent at the next meeting. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. We did hear a little bit more of a hawkish shift from Bullard. He's warming up to the idea of 75 basis point hikes, and it's possible we get that. We heard Powell talk about front loading. It's possible we get that. I think that is what's going to happen. We did 25. Now we're probably going to do 50. And if inflation stays hot, it's possible 75 at the meeting after that. So all things to think about and consider, and just generally be prepared for. The ultimate message is don't take your eyes off the Fed. We're sticking to what we're saying in these videos. The message has been pretty similar even on days like yesterday when our thesis is not necessarily working out, but we're not playing things day by day. We're more week by week, month by month, and we're sticking to that paradigm. We're going to have to see what happens. It's a pretty big unknown, but what is seemingly known is that rates are higher than they were, and the market is also higher than it was from the bottom when rates were lower, so maybe we got a little bit of a downside pullback that needs to come to fruition right now, and we'll see what happens with that. Not too much tactical today. Don't take your eyes off the Fed. Acknowledge the Fed is doing what it's doing. Listen to what they say, because it seems like now what they're saying is what they're doing. They're acknowledging the inflation that doesn't seem to be turning around very much. Sure, used cars maybe a little bit, but we'll just have to see how things shake out. We'll just have to see how things shake out. So that's today's video. Ultimately, the thesis is the same. Positioning is largely the same. Downside protection, energy, mining materials companies, well-priced stocks, and still our 10x growth, which we also think is well-priced and presents good value. So we'll have to see what happens. That's today's video. Until next time, peace out.